Hey guys, it's Sashi. I'm out here at the Man Sports headquarters, and today we'll be going over some exercises just to help alleviate some of the effects of sitting in a chair all day. So as we know, we're spending a lot of time sitting behind a computer right now, and over the day we tend to allow ourselves to kind of sit into some different positions that may unknowingly put our body into some aches and pains and discomfort. So, you may find yourself slouching back and reaching forward and pulling that shoulder out of the socket, or sitting way forward and reaching your neck up, creating stress and strain into your cervical spine. So today what we'll be doing is just going over a few routines that will allow you to alleviate some of the discomforts that you may be putting into your body. So today we will be going over 3 different routines. The first one will be focused more on the neck and shoulders, and it's going to allow you to open up. So right now we're doing a lot of movements that are pulling us forward by sitting at the computer, using the mouse all day. This will open up the chest, draw the shoulders down and back, alleviate pressure and pain out of your neck, and allow you to just feel some relief from there, with over time that can actually help to correct the shoulder girdle itself. We will also be going over a lower body routine. It will be focused on hips, hamstrings, and just allowing you to open up all of the effects that sitting on your glutes and hamstrings do all day. It actually deactivates the muscles, so these will just help to reactivate and open them up. And then the third routine we will have today is for the spine, so we'll be going over a few rotational movements, a little bit of a cat-cow, just any movement that will help to open up the spine and alleviate pressure that you feel from the neck all the way down to the tailbone. So the way that we are setting up this routine for you today is you can pick and choose. You could do just the upper, neck and shoulder routine if you feel in that day you are experiencing pain and discomfort in the neck. Maybe that day you are experiencing pain just in the hips and hamstrings and you just need to get some movement through your legs. You could do just lower portion. Same thing with the back, or you could do the entire routine all at once. It won't take very long start to finish, no matter if you decide to do all 3 portions or just one day and then one the next day and then one the third day, or break it up however you want to as far as that goes and what your body is needing. Each routine or each movement we will be doing today, so we'll have active movements and then we'll have a couple stretching movements. The active movements you will do anywhere from 15 to 20 reps, depending on what your body is telling you is enough or if you need more. And then the stretching movements, you'll just want to hold them for 30 to 60 seconds, release, and maybe come back and do it again. First up, we have our shoulder and neck routine. Again, this is just going to help open up the entire shoulder girdle. Any pain or discomfort you're feeling in the shoulder can pull into the neck. This will also help some of the effects from putting your neck into funny positions while you're straining to see the computer. So our first movement for our exercise, or our upper body exercises, will be scap rotations and chest butterflies. You take your hands right to the shoulders, start to lift the shoulders up to the ears, draw the chest open, reach the shoulders down and back. You're just going to start to take those circles forward. When you're ready, you can take a few circles back. You can also take the hands right behind the head. Take the elbows together on the inhale. On your exhale, you open up, pinching the shoulders down and back. So play around with a few of those movements. Both of them are going to help to open up the chest and activate your low traps, your rhomboids. You're using that entire shoulder blade to reopen because it gets stuck and kind of locked in this frontal position while we are doing all of our workouts or our work at the computer. So the second exercise today are going to be our Bruggers. You take your hands, shoulders, elbows, and wrists will be one straight line. From there, you're going to start to rotate from the shoulder blades, pulling the shoulders forward, and then exhaling, rotating them down and back. Inhale, you draw them forward, and then exhale, you draw them down and back. So again, you'll take 15 to 20 of these using the shoulder itself to rotate the arms. Similar activation movement here as the rotations that we just took. This will allow the shoulder from a different plane now to get the range of motion pulled back into that shoulder girdle. The more activation and support we have around those joints, the less that you will feel the muscular discomfort. So the third movement we'll be going over today are chin tucks. This is just going to help re-lengthen the back side of the neck or your cervical spine. What you'll want to do here is just from wherever you're sitting, on your inhale, reach your chin as far forward as you can. And then on your exhale, you want to pull your chin right back to the chest. So it's an inhale as you reach it forward. Exhale as you reach it back. The entire time, think about keeping the chest open and the shoulders reaching down and back. So it's an inhale, pull it forward, and an exhale as you pull it back. So the movement in particular, like I said, it's going to lengthen that cervical spine and just help to pull those or reactivate those muscles. Right now, a lot of us, again, we're sitting in weird positions with the neck, creating compression. And so we need all of those support muscles nice and strong to keep our neck in the appropriate alignment. So the fourth movement we'll be going over, this is where we start to move into the static variation of our exercises. All of these from this portion on, you just hold for 30 to 60 seconds. So what you will do is you're going to take your arm across your body. Think about drawing your shoulder down and back. Reach the opposite hand towards the shoulder and then gently start to pull it across your body as your chest stays parallel to the front side of the room. The more you can actively draw that shoulder down and back, the more you'll start to feel that opening through the anterior head and rear deltoids. So again, you just hold this 30 to 60 seconds on each side. So this stretch in particular is just going to start to support the the three movements that we just did. It's going to, those knots and the places of tenderness that we feel on the back side of our body a lot of times is from this forwarding position. So we want to keep that shoulder down and back. Think really about that depression as you pull that arm across so that you're not caving through the chest and reinforcing what's already happening within your body. The stronger you can keep your spine as you're in that position, the better. So for the fifth exercise today, it's going to be our upper trap stretch. Again, all of that pulling, rounding forward, it keeps our traps tight and locked up. And so this movement is just going to help alleviate some of that tenderness that you're experiencing there. The best way to do it is reach for the outer edge of your chair if you can. If you can't, you can just sit on your hand. But if you don't have anything blocking the outer edge of your chair, grab for the bottom of it. Start to drop your ear towards your chest or your shoulder, your ear towards your shoulder, and think about gently lifting your chin towards the sky as you breathe through the side of the body. I'll turn sideways so you can see here. You're breathing through that whole side. You're gonna get up into the neck a little here, but really breathe right here into your trap. Again, 30 to 60 seconds on both sides. Our final exercise in the upper body portion is going to be our Levator Stretch. And this is just going to allow you to open up the muscles on the back side of the neck. I will also show you an option that will help to open the front side and the sternocleidomastoids as well. So it's a similar setup to the trap stretch, but this time instead of taking the ear directly to the shoulder, I want you to take the chin over to the shoulder and then you drop it to the shoulder. So you take the chin to the shoulder and it's gonna, again, you're gonna breathe here now through the back side of the neck. So 30 to 60 seconds. And like I said, if you wanna add a little bit of a rotation through the front side of the neck, you start to rotate the chin to the sky and then it's that exhale to take it back. For the next routine, we'll be going over some movements that will help to take some pressure out of the hips and hamstrings. After sitting all day, those muscles get deactivated, and it can allow you to start to feel some pain in your low back and even your shoulders. So even if you don't necessarily feel pain or discomfort in your hips and hamstrings, it's a really good idea to add these routines into your life. For our first movement, we will be going over our figure 4 hip stretch. So what you will do is you take your ankle, cross it over your opposite knee. So it doesn't matter which leg you start on, we'll be doing both, obviously. On the first portion of the movement, we're gonna be taking a hip hinge. So what you wanna do is think about anchoring both of your sit bones down into the mat, or the chair below you rather. And think about hinging with your chest long, your spine long, and pulling it over your shin as much as possible versus just rounding through the spine. So the longer you can keep the spine as you hinge from the hip, the more activation and opening you will find. So for this movement, I actually want you to take a couple times where you hinge up on, or hinge over on your inhale and sit tall on your exhale. And then if at any point you want to breathe into that hip for a breath or two, you can, but we're going to keep this movement actually active today. And then after you take a few rounds of those, I want you to just sit tall, take your hand right below the knee joint, and just start to press your knee gently, or your leg rather, gently towards the ground for a breath or two, and then release it. You can also actively, once your body starts to learn, you can start to do this with your external hip rotator. And again, this is all just going to reactivate those muscles that are needed in order to support your body while it's sitting for a long period of time. As always, when you do something on the right, you want to make sure to mirror it on the left. Even if you're not necessarily feeling that pain or discomfort on that side of the hip, you always want to make sure and keep that body as balanced as possible. So for our second exercise in the lower portion of our routine today, we will be going over a knee to chest compression. This is just going to bring some blood flow back into the hip flexor. It gets tight and locked into this position after a certain period of time. So what we'll do is take that knee, you're gonna gently hold it and draw it towards your shoulder as you sit up nice and tall, and then exhale, gently lower it. You take this just, again, 15 to 20 reps on each leg, drawing the knee towards the chest, finding that gentle compression. You may feel it pop, that's okay, that's a little bit of a reset. What we're doing here is getting some blood flow to come back into that hip that will aid into the recovery process that will help release the muscle tissue. So from the side, what you'll see, drawing that left leg, sitting up as tall as you can, you're just gently compressing the knee towards the chest as much as you can, sitting up as tall as you can, and then releasing that compression. For the third exercise in our lower body portion, we will be going over our vagus nerve flossing. What you will do here is take the knee gently, or the leg right behind the hamstring. You want to sit up as tall as you can, draw the shoulders down and back. You're going to point your toe as you lift the leg and exhale as you release. You're just going to your range of motion, so it could be here. You may get all the way up there. It doesn't really matter how far you extend the backside of the leg. You're just breathing through the hamstring. What we are doing here is we are opening up your all the nerves that run through the backside of the legs, but specifically here we are targeting your vagus nerve. This is going to allow your body just to release some stress. Your vagus nerve is the primary host of your stress and parasympathetic response systems. So by flossing it out, providing some movement to it, especially on a really stressful day, this might help to give you just a temporary relief. So again, we are sitting tall. You're pointing the toe as you lift and flexing it as you come down. Again, anywhere from 15 to 20 reps per leg on these moving exercises. So for our fourth exercise today, we will be going over our hamstring stretch. This one's pretty simple. You're going to extend the leg out in front of you. You can play around with a couple different positionings with the foot to start. Flex the toe back towards you, and then you start to hinge at the hips as you gently reach forward. Again, the longer you can keep your spine here, the better. This is, you want to hold anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds per side. You can also work with different positionings here. You have different heads of your hamstrings, so by externally and internally rotating the toe, you will also change where you are feeling it through the back side of the legs. So from the side, try not to roll out of this chair here. You're gonna sit hinge forward, reaching down. Again, you can rotate the foot. Think about a long spine. So it's almost like you're trying to draw your chest over your toes, not draw your chest towards your knees. That does drastically change how you feel the stretch. When you hinge forward, you're going to alleviate pressure more out of the back of the leg versus rounding down will start to keep that stretch in the back side of the back. For the fifth movement, we will be going over an adductor stretch. What you will do is you will stand up, turn your chair sideways so you're standing in line with it, and take your knee right up to the edge of the chair, and then you just gently, to your range of motion, start to allow yourself to roll the chair out to the side, keeping the hip bones pointed as far forward and parallel with each other as you can. You'll start to feel this through both inner thighs, but you're really gonna target the one that is on the ground first. And don't go so deep that it's really a struggle to get yourself back up. Again, 30 to 60 seconds. If your desk is in front of you, you can use that as support while you're here in this position. So once again, we always want to do everything right side, left side. So once you've got your right leg done, you can set your chair up on the other side. Take your knee. Once again, we are parallel with the hips in line with the front of the chair. As you start to roll it out laterally, you want to allow both hip bones to track forward still. Breathing into now the left adductor. Again, on these static stretches, 30 to 60 seconds before you pull yourself back in and up. So for the third and final routine, we will be going over some movements that work kind of just mostly through, well, really the whole spine. So the back side of the neck all the way through the tailbone. So if you have any sort of back pain or discomfort, any of these movements will help you. Again, all three of the routines will work together, but if you specifically have some back pain and you just need a little moment for yourself, this is a great portion to grab. So for the first movement in our spinal portion of our routine, we will be going over a seated cat-cow. What you will do is take your hands right to the front side of your chair so that you can keep your shoulders in line. So the outside is okay, but this is going to give you a little bit more of the stretch. What you want to do is keeping a little tension through the hands. It may even help if you sit forward if you've got a backrest, but you're going to tuck the pelvis, draw the shoulders, round them forward, create a little C-spine curve through the spine. really protracting the shoulder blades. Then you're gonna draw the chest down and back, find a little retraction and depression through the shoulder blades. So it's an inhale as you rock back, round through the spine. Inhale as you open the chest, draw the shoulders down and back. You can keep the neck right where it is, or if at any point when you're in the cow portion right here, if you would like to drop the neck back, you can. Just make sure to drop the chin to the chest before rounding back through your cat portion. Again, this is a moving exercise, so 15 to 20 reps, work with your breath, whatever feels good in your body. So next up we have our figure 4 with rotations. So this is gonna open the hip, but it's also going to allow you to get a little movement through your thoracic spine. So you're taking your figure 4, this is a familiar position, we're just gonna add a little twist to it. What you will do is take your opposite arm and lay it parallel in line with the leg that is on top. And again, you may be up a little higher, that's okay, wherever you're at, you're at. And then the opposite hand is gonna gently come again. You never wanna press right onto the joint itself, just a little below it. You'll inhale, hinge over that front leg, and it's an exhale as you twist over the opposite shoulder. So an inhale, draw the shoulders parallel to the ground, and then an exhale, you're twisting through the thoracic spine as you rotate over that shoulder. Again, 15 to 20 reps per side. Our third exercise in the spinal portion is going to be a quadratus lumborum, or QL, and a lat opener. Both of these muscles get weakened by being rounded forward, and your lats are actually an internal rotator themselves. So we're going to reset, reopen, and just kind of lengthen and strengthen those muscles. So you're gonna take one hand by the side, the opposite arm is going to reach up and over as you actively kind of press the opposite arm away from you, and then think about rotating over that shoulder that's reaching up. And you'll come back through center, switch arms. Inhale as you press one arm, the opposite arm down. So think less about the compression through the side body and more about the opening through the arm that is reaching up. So you reach, arm down, inhale as you reach up and over. And it's an exhale as you come back through center. Again, 10 or 15 to 20 reps per side, whatever feels good in your body. You just connect that breath throughout the entire movement. So the fourth movement we will be going over today is a trunk rotation. This is really just gonna be moving through the pelvis. So it'll feel very similar to a cat-cow, but what all you're going to be doing is tucking the tailbone. This is gonna help to lengthen out the hip flexors and relieve some pressure there. And then you're gonna take the tailbone behind you and lift it up as high as you can. So you're trying just to move only from that pelvis. It's gonna help you to activate the core as well as reset specifically your SI joints and your pelvic floor. So the fifth and final movement that we have here is our thoracic windmill. You're gonna take the feet out. You can take them out as wide as you need in order for you to create enough space for you to get down. If you have trouble reaching for the ground, you can always take a stack of books or a block, anything that you have close by that you can reach to. But you take them right to the middle of your feet. What you do here is press that hand actively into the ground as you reach that opposite arm to the sky. You could also flip the palm and rotate it for the opposite hip crease. It's an inhale as you come back through center. You always want to think about using your exhale here to twist deeper through the spine. So those are the 3 routines that you can run through. Again, you can use the upper, the lower, or the spine as one routine by itself, or you can do all 3 of them together at once. You can split them up throughout the week, or you know, take 10-20 minutes to do all the movements before you head back to work after your lunch break, or just need that quick little mental check in the middle of the day after lunch when you're about to wrap up your day and you're struggling, thinking, you know, all of these will just help to get the blood flow going, refresh your body, and give you some temporary relief if you're feeling any pain. And over time, with consistency, they can help actually to correct some of the posture discrepancies that come along with sitting behind a computer all day. So there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, like, share, subscribe, and make sure to hit that notification bell below. We'll see you next time.